today we're going to do something incredibly easy. So easy. We have to use decorative yarns to make it look a little bit more complicated. But it's not complicated to use them. So decorative yarns are not like the flat ones we've been using. They can be fluffy, like this one, or textured, bobbly coloured bits. And the one that I've got on the needle at the moment is sort of bits and pieces hanging off. Just make it a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to turn the camera around and we can get on and I'll show you the technique. Right, here we go. Let's have a look at these textured yarns close up, shall we? Now, look at that. I love this yarn. It's so easy to knit with and it looks so effective. And you don't have to change colours when you're knitting. It does it all for you. So, what did we do? For this one, I cast onto 4mm needles, 30 stitches. So there's my cast on edge, stocking stitched all the way to 45 centimetres. So just measure it, bearing in mind I'm slightly stretching it as I'm moving. There you go, 45 centimetres, which is approximately 18 inches. So that's that one. To make it into a headband, fold it in half, bringing the short edges together and stitch it down. Now, it's a bit bobbly and difficult to pull through a darning needle, so I would probably use a piece of plain black yarn, double knit probably, and stitch those short ends together. So that's that one. This one, I love it. It's amazing. Look how fluffy it is. It's gorgeous. This one, I used the thread that I knitted it with to do the sewing up. And it's quite simple to go through the darning needle. It doesn't give any resistance. It's very soft. But that does result in a completely invisible seam. Now I can feel that with my thumb there. The seam is there, but if you fluff it up after you've stitched it, you can't see it. And it's great. It's got a certain amount of elasticity and you can just pop it over your head. I think I should be using that one with all the windy weather we've been having lately. Now, this third one is slightly different again. And you can see how it's got all these raggy bits hanging off it. They're a bit velvety. It's very nice. I've done it so that it's a bit more open. So I've still used the 6mm needles, which is what I used for the red fluffy one. And for this one, I used 20 stitches. And on the red fluffy one, I used 20 stitches as well. So I shall show you how simple it is to knit with. So we're just using our ordinary knit stitch, which is all we did for the red one, because you wouldn't be able to see any other stitch, let's be fair. So it's a normal knit stitch over 20 stitches. There we go. So you can see how easy it is to knit with, even though it's got those bobbly bits. They don't really get in the way. There we go. And then they just lie in the work wherever they come on your knitting. There we go. So I'm going to get to 45 centimetres with this piece and then I'll stitch it up. It's as simple as that. Now you know how to do the stitching up. We take a little piece from each side in the darning needle and pull it together. There we go. So I'll just finish this one off and I will show you once more how to sew up your knitting. Right then, So we're just casting off this last one. So remember, it's knit 2 stitches on, and then the first one comes over like that. There we go. Casting off this lovely textured yarn, and then we're going to stitch it, the short ends together, to make another headband. And only by using these nice simple stitches, we've got 3 completely different headbands because we used 3 different textured yarns. Alright, nearly there. A little bit more, 2 left. There we go. 1 left with the final stitch. Get rid of those. And push through. Now we don't need much. It's quite soft, I can break it. I just couldn't find my scissors. Right. Pull it through. Gently firm it off. Right, don't do it too tightly. We still want it to be able to be a nice width. Right. So, obviously, when I've finished the work, we will work all these ends in. And this one, cut that one a little long actually, because I'm not going to be using it for sewing up, because it's too knobbly. Right. So, I have already threaded a needle up in just plain black. Now, it might be a little difficult for you to see the black, but just like before, we're going to take some of the yarn, keep our thumb there so it doesn't tangle, and you can keep an eye on the short end. There it comes. And then we're going to go over that same area again, and I think I'll loop it this time because it's quite a loose weave. There we go. So I need to find the other end, bring the 2 ends together. I like to put my hand underneath when I'm working, then I can see what I'm doing. Let's get that tail out of the way. Right, so we want a little piece from this side. And that'll bring it together. And then go to the other side. There we go. Just a little piece, remember, you don't want massive stitches. It has to be able to hold it together and not gap. There we go. Oops, a daisy. Happened there. Came out. That's what happens with these loose weaves. Never mind, we'll just start again. It can happen to the best of us. Not that I'm that at all. Right. We'll leave the end a bit longer this time, especially as we're going to bury them all in later. There we go. Right, let's give that a bit of a tug. I don't think it's going to come out this time. Let's start that again, shall we? So a little bit from this side. Get rid of those bits. And a little bit from that side. There we go. It's actually not that easy to see what you're doing when you're using black. So, sorry about that, but I just like this yarn. That's why I put an orange cloth down so you could see it. There we are. Just goes to show things can be fiddly. Not everything is bish bosh bash, but it will be worth doing when you've finished it. Okay, keep going. A little bit from either side. Just brings it together nicely, and then you won't get that lumpy seam. See, this is flat seaming. Some people call it not tent stitch, ladder stitch, that's the one. So we're just going back and forth, a little bit from either side. There's some bits and pieces out of the way. Yeah. Yeah, so you can see how it is coming together. We've just got a little bit left. There we go. Almost there. There we go. How much have we got left? Oh, about an inch. Right, so you can see how this textured yarn is going to make this headband stand out a bit. And just pop it on over your head. No need for anything fancy. Right, let's just pull that bit over here and secure it off. Remember, we need to pull it slowly till we get that loop through the loop, and then let's do it again because it's such a loose weave. Wait till we get the loop, and another securing one. And then all I'll do then is bury it and snip it off. So little bit, just in and out, pull it through, and then snip it without snipping your knitting. And then tidy up your ends, put them all in, and then you've got a nice headband. So that's 1 and 2. And the third one I haven't stitched up yet. But you can see how they're all very different, and we've used exactly the same method. So have fun. Go and find some lovely textured yarns and measure your head and make your headbands. So there you have it. A very simple technique with easy and simple to use textured yarns on your very basic stitches. So I hope you had fun with that, and I will be back again next time. But it only remains for me to say, please like, share and subscribe these videos, and I'll be very happy with that. Fabulous indeed. Bye.